You'd think being a young woman in construction would be a constant battle, but here's the truth, it's not. If you're new here, hi, I'm Skylar. I'm the founder of Kreer Construction. I started it at 19 with no driver's license, no funding, and no idea what people would say to me. In the beginning, I would be so afraid. I would wake up in the morning, hands shaking, nausea, not being able to eat, drowning myself in Red Bull and gum to make it through these jobs because I was so afraid that people would judge me, that they would say, oh, where's her degree? She's so young. Oh, she's a girl. Where's the man? Where's the person that's really going to do the job? Why is she here? But in reality, that was never the case. On my first job ever as a brand, I was so nervous and afraid, but I had my dad working with me. I had my usual crew. I was like, it's going to be great. So I'm in there doing tile for a restoration company. We're all in the bathroom talking about the layout, how they want to run this tile. And the project manager cuts me off to grab me by the shoulder. He goes, are you always on your knees? You look good there. And I remember being so weirded out, first of all, but I remember being so angry. And I even said to my dad later, like, why wouldn't you defend me? Like, why would you let a man that we all pretty much just met make a comment like that to me on my first job and not feel some type of way about it? Nobody I was with defended me. And I was like, why is that normal? Why is this acceptable? Why is this the culture? And at the time, he made a really big deal out of it. Like, if you want to be here, if you want to be accepted, if you want to be in this kind of industry, you have to learn how to deal with your own issues. You need to take care of it yourself. Like, nobody can come and defend you. I was so offended by the situation. I literally would not speak to a client by myself for months. Months. I would not go by myself at all because I was so afraid of like getting a weird comment like that. But what I've found over the years is that men are very protective. I stopped separating myself and going into jobs like, oh, there's no other girls here. The more I stopped making that separation in my head, the more people were receptive to me. They never sat there and looked at me and were like, oh, she's a girl, she can't do it. The trades is very much a work ethic based thing. They want somebody that does good work. If you are a bro and you do bad work, they're still going to talk about you. And they're probably going to call you like princess or pumpkin or like something stupid. They're going to make fun of you. I think for anybody just getting into the trades, there's a little bit of a hazing period because the bros, as I like to call them, that are already there want to put you into a category. Are you the guy with the gift of gab? Are you the fastest? Are you the detail guy? Are you the guy that's going to be bottom of the totem pole, dragging everybody behind, kind of just there as the extra body? That's kind of what the process is. And sometimes the jokes are a little tough to sort of see what kind of pushback you give, which is also how you earn which category you're in. As a girl, I was never like afraid to go to a job. I never thought I was going to be hurt or like harassed or somebody was going to say something so beyond obscene to me or anything like that. The only time I felt weirded out by a comment was the first job that I ever did. It wasn't like pre-vetted or like something that was well known. Girls that are considering the trades should. You should absolutely should. It should not be something that you're afraid of. Oh, if I want to do this job, I have to like tolerate being abused to be accepted. That's not the case whatsoever. And so, honestly, as a brand, I've tried to sort of stay like a little more in the shadows, not really be front and center. I always wanted the work to speak for itself, not me as a girl, like being the deciding factor for why someone wants to buy from me. But one thing I really have talked about a lot is the perception of the industry in general. In my opinion, we don't have an issue with growth because there's not enough representation. We have workwear brands, we have our own unions, we have our own awards, we have our own everything. It's not something that's like so secretive or outlawed or like something that is unheard of, right? But I think society's opinion of us in the trades is what stops so much of the growth. When you are in high school, you either go to college or you're a loser. That's it. And you can watch all the TikToks you want, and everybody's grandparents will say, "Oh, but there's so many other ways," and blah blah blah. When you're in the system, you either go to college or you're a loser. That is it. They'll say, "Oh, sure, apply to these dream schools of yours, but you're not going to make it. Make sure you apply to these 50 other safe schools." I know when I was in school, I was very overwhelmed by the pressure of it all. And the trades was something I did consider. I actually said, well, what if I go to trade school, like formalize the knowledge that I have, right? But where I was living, there weren't that many options. Some of them were only night school options, some of them were men only schools. And so it wasn't something that I felt like was even possible. When I did break in and say, you know what, I have this whole other life plan, right? Nothing is panning out because now it's starting to be the pandemic. It's the end of the world. A girl's got nothing to lose. I'm going for it. People were so against this because they thought I was settling. They thought that I was actively choosing to be a so called loser, to have nothing for my life. And I think that that perception of the trades is really big. People hear about trade guys and they're like, oh, those are ex criminals, or oh, these are people that couldn't get into school, or people that don't have money, or, you know, these are just bad people in general. And that's not the case at all. I can tell you firsthand, the people that I have met in the trades have been some of the kindest, most loyal, smartest, wealthiest people I've ever met. People with insane network connections, people that can think of solutions to problems off the top of their heads, that can MacGyver like their own inventions, men that like have their own patents, like people that are just incredible. I think that the trades are honestly a jewel of society that are not appreciated. And more than any gender divide, I think that that is the issue. And I hope that any girl that wants to get in the trades realizes that she can, that there is a place for her, and that she will be more than welcome. And I hope that you don't feel like you're settling in your life by being a part of the trades, and realize that we contribute so much good to the world and to people's lives, and that it is a beautiful thing. So, that is all for today. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And be sure to follow along for the next one. Later, Gator.